Hey everyone, I'm Shania.
And I'm JP.
And welcome to
The First Drop.
Happy August, JP.
Happy August, Shania. We are into a new month here at the park.
It's going to be a roller coaster of a ride. It's going to be a thrilling time.
I'm so over your dad jokes, but they're really good.
Thank you.
They've been getting better lately. I'm very proud of you.
I've been
Do you study
practicing.
at night? What's going on?
I have an app, actually.
Stop it, a dad joke.
No.
That's got to exist.
I don't know if there is one, but I should make one.
If not,
there's
you found your calling.
So what's going on this month and what's been happening? There's so much stuff that's been happening recently, just in the park, but also like outside of work as well.
You and me? Yeah, you just had a bridal shower.
I did, and I'm getting married in next month in September.
How many days away are we?
Like less than 50 or something like that.
Give you like your checklist. You're going down like 30 days out, 20 days out.
There's a
Start panicking here.
Yes, exactly. I'm in the panic mode right now, but it's
gonna
okay.
Be perfect. It's gonna
okay.
be perfect.
And you just had a birthday, so happy birthday.
I did. Thank you.
Woohoo.
I had so much fun. I did an escape room with some folks here at work,
You got
and
out.
we got out. We got out.
You escaped.
We escaped. I don't know that we would have got out without a few helpful hints. But no one got into any fights, so
Okay.
that's what's important. We
Very
made
good.
it out and we had fun.
I'm glad that you made it out alive and that you're okay.
We stopped what was it? We stopped the bank robber from stealing a bunch of money from the government. So you're welcome.
So kind of like a hero. No big deal.
No biggie.
That's all right.
But yeah, and a lot happening in the park too. Shania, August brings one of our favorite park holidays here at Busch Gardens. It's National Roller Coaster Day coming up.
It is National Roller Coaster Day, and also Beer Fest is happening too. So there's a lot of great things happening.
Do you want to kick things off with your favorite segment of all time?
Past member awards.
Past member rewards with Shania.
So-
I feel like we need a jingle. Can we do like
Can we add a jingle?
Past member rewards with Shania?
Ba-dow!
Yeah. What do we got for August?
Can you mix something like that up, please? Let's add that in there. But yes, past member awards. I was looking at them last night, trying to familiarize myself with them. But there's so many, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit because there's
so
a
many this
whole
month.
list. So we have most importantly, Passport to Summer. That's happening. The big summer bash is on August 18th. So if you went and redeemed all of your rewards this month, then you're going to be ready for the summer bash. I'm ready for
You had to do
it.
20, right? 20
We-
visits.
It's crazy.
We have a lot of people who are going to have such an exclusive experience at the park. I'm so pumped
They
for that
are.
party.
It's gonna
I'm going to try to
be-
sneak in, to be completely honest with you.
You're going to sneak in?
Yeah,
I don't think you
don't
need
tell
to
anybody.
sneak in.
Don't tell anybody.
I think that they'll let you in. Just tell them I'm on the first drop. We also have a bonus free guest ticket as well. So you can use that until August 31st. There's a free Lori Landing feeding. Have you ever done it before?
I haven't. No, that's on my list.
We should do it. I've done it before. It's fun. If you like birds and like feeding them, they come right up to you. It's really, really fun. There's also a Pass Number exclusive Beer Fest lanyard, sampler lanyard, and a free Beer Fest sample as well. There's also something very exciting happening, which is a Hollow Scream scavenger hunt that's exclusive to past members.
Ooh,
It's gonna be really fun if you're into Hollow
spooky.
Scream. We are like a month away from Hollow
wild.
Scream, if you can believe that.
I can't.
So we're kicking it off with a nice old scavenger hunt. You can go around all the different houses, find some like hidden treasures, and if you find stuff, you can redeem it and spin for a prize.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Spin for a prize?
There is like the wheel, right?
Why?
I think there's a wheel that you can spin and win some prizes. So that'll be fun. And of course, our next topic, Roller Coaster Day.
National Roller Coaster Day. It's August 16th.
It is August 16th.
Highly encourage everyone to call in sick from work that day and come ride roller coasters at Busch Gardens.
You're a bad influence.
That's okay. I'm going to call in sick and come ride. Wait, does that work that way? I don't know.
I don't think
But it's a fun time. We've got all kinds of stuff going on throughout the park for National Roller Coaster Day. One of my favorite are these roller coaster cutouts that we have one here on the table.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed or not. I don't trust Shania and I, so they've actually bolted this one down, so
Yes.
I can't move it.
Yeah.
But they are so cool. All of our different coasters here at the park have cutouts, and for Roller Coaster Day, they are going to be buy one, get one free. And as you know, here on the First Drop, our mantra is,
If it's free,
it's for me.
you know what this deal is good for is if you're wanting to get someone this for Christmas or a birthday, you get one for you. and then one for your friend or family member.
Shania, it was just my birthday last week, so maybe if you want to get one for you, then you can get one for me. That would be great.
So tell us about your roller coaster plans for roller coaster day. And tell us what you plan on doing in the park. Are you going to get one of these? Are you going to ride every single coaster that we have here? I'm going to try and do that.
You're going to try to ride every single one?
Every coaster.
So we had some fun riding roller coasters last week, actually.
We did.
We're going to drop in some of the footage right here. We had so much fun. We rode my favorite roller coaster in the entire park. Yes. I convinced y'all to do it.
Montu?
Montu's my favorite. It's my favorite right here. It just brings back memories of riding roller coasters as kids. I don't know what it is about Montu, but it's just iconic. It is. It's a beautiful part of our skyline here.
It's a long ride too, you know? Like it's one of the longer ones. Like you're on it and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still going.
And then we also had the opportunity to ride arguably the most intense roller coaster at Busch Gardens.
I didn't know if I could do it, but JP convinced me and we survived.
Look,
it was great.
Don't sleep on Air Grover. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's such a fun and exciting ride. You get a lot done in the short track that exists.
It's fast. It's actually faster than you think it is. Okay, that's all I got to say.
Don't sleep on Air Grover.
You know what's also cool for Coaster Day is if you want to do the coaster tours.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get to do the behind the scenes and see like really what goes into the coasters and stuff. It's really cool. I think have one for Montu, for Cheetah Hunt. It's really, really cool. So if you want to go, you do it. Bring a friend or a family member or go by yourself.
If you're a theme park nerd or a coaster junkie, which I think a lot of us are,
yes.
You really get to see a lot of cool things that you wouldn't see as a daily guest here at the park.
Yeah.
So that's one tour that's definitely worth it in my opinion.
Yeah. So we're super excited for Coaster Day. We can't wait for you guys to come join us in the park and for all the thrills and roller coaster rides.
Speaking, Shania, of roller coaster junkies, I think this is a perfect time to introduce our guest for this episode.
Yes, if you are on social media at all or you are a huge theme park coaster fan, you probably know who this person is and you've seen him all over.
I get like on those YouTube like black holes of just watching video after video after video, and his are perfect.
That's great. Yes. And so please check out our interview with Kirk, aka Walrus Carp. All right, thank you so much for joining us today, Kirk. This is exciting to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, and I think, one of the first things that we want to know, your name is Kirk, but a lot of people know you as Walrus Carp on social media, right?
Yeah, which is also kind of weird when you're in the theme parks and somebody screams, Walrus! I'm like, I'm used to it now, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like at our office, we never refer to you as Kirk. We always just say Walrus Carp, Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of funny. How did you come up with that name first and foremost?
So social media, like most forms of marketing, you need to have something that's memorable. And Walrus Carp really doesn't mean anything except for once it gets kind of continuity with folks and it resonates with them. I came up with it because one of my favorite animated films involves a walrus. And so the walrus and the carpenter, I shortened it, Walrus Carp. And you can get things like URLs, all that stuff. So you need it for branding and marketing. I don't think Coaster Dude 2749 _ would have been an effective name.
It's not as catchy.
No.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. And I love like your color scheme and everything too.
Thank you. Very tropical. We like to go with the Hawaiian beachy kind of vibe.
It's very cute. It's very Florida-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Florida indeed.
I love it.
So why did you start vlogging? Like what were you interested in? What drove you to want to do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I never, ever wanted to be an influencer or a content creator, but the origins of that is kind of unique, and it brings us actually back to Busch Gardens. When I was a kid, I used to go to a local theme park when I lived in New Jersey, and I would take disposable cameras. You kids know this. Disposable cameras, are they cool now?
Yes.
Not cool?
I don't know.
They're cool.
They're
People
back
use
in.
them a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so I would take disposable cameras, and I would go on the front views of coasters, so very first row, and I would snap like through the lift hill, through the first drop, through the first elements, and I'm like snapping and rolling as I'm doing it. And then we would go to a 1-hour photo, me and my friends. We would develop them, we would scan them, and put them on an old school website. This is, in the 90s. And so I just always loved videotaping and roller coasters. We were real geeks back then too. We would make flashcards for all the roller coasters so you would know the manufacturer, the elements, all of that. And so then from there, I just always had a passion for filming in theme parks, and eventually led to a point in my life where I wanted to do something myself. And I've always been fascinated about making clothing, so that's why we developed the company Walrus Carp, and then ended up doing a lot of content marketing is where it first started. And I never really thought like, oh, I'm a personality or I should be an influencer or any of those things. And so we just started making content to talk about the clothing, and I just realized I love educating and teaching. I taught for 3 years. So yeah, it's a part of my life is to teach people the hack snacks and fun facts around the Florida theme parks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you definitely created quite the fan base. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really weird, to be honest. When you
To be recognized.
Yeah, because again, I'm just like some guy with a camera or a cell phone in a theme park. It's not really spectacular or anything, but people really enjoy the things that I've taught them. Nothing is more rewarding when somebody tells you, we are killing it in the park. We are park pros, jumping through all the lines, eating all the best food, so we're not wasting money, wasting time, which are the most valuable things when you're in a theme park experience anyway. So
yeah,
it's really, really rewarding.
Aww.
But it's weird. It's also weird looking at metrics. Metrics are strange.
It is, right?
When you look at numbers, I just ignore the numbers and just
I
make
know.
stuff that I enjoy.
That's a big part of my job too, like being a social media manager, having to look at the reporting, all the numbers, analytics, metrics.
Yes.
That's like, it's a tiring part of it.
It's the back end part, but the truth is the creative part is what drives me to
Yes.
make, People,
Yeah.
when they really enjoy, either they're entertained or they got something of value to be able to implement in a park like Busch Gardens, that's what to me is the most gratifying part of it. But
Yeah.
I never, I have zero interest in being like Mr. Influencer content creator. I own a company, but it just so happens we make content on the side.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah.
I love that.
When you look at your week, like what does your day-to-day look like? Like when you're, looking at going to the different Florida theme parks, how do you schedule out? How do you decide what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Do you
Right.
have like a shot list that you want to accomplish?
Give us a
Or do
little
you,
day in the life of you.
you just show up and you're like, I'm going to have fun and film it?
Yeah. So I have a live stream schedule that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Busch Gardens are Fridays. And so those kind of change around. But my Mondays and my Wednesdays are thematically a part of our community. So Mondays are a Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem means to seize the day. So I allow somebody from our community to plan out the entire park day, whatever park they want to go to, whatever food they want to do, and we say seize your perfect park day. So that's a community-run day of live streaming. And then Wednesdays are our challenge days, which it could be try to stay on a ride for 12 hours long and see how many laps we can complete. It could be testing the best of a certain style of food. It could be doing, like I have one that'll eventually be going to 10 plus parks in a day or 24 roller coasters in 12 hours. Wow. So those are where the challenge ones, and then that can map out, usually the challenges get mapped out into a long form piece of content as well. So, and then we film shorts and reels throughout that. But I have a giant content board and I'll put Post-it notes. It's just a great way for me to organize what kind of things that are on a shot list. And I don't script as much, but there is some scripting that happens in terms of theme. So thinking about hook, mid-story, and then the final payoff are important when it comes to creating content.
We need to take some notes from. we need to be more organized like that. That's awesome.
I'm the least organized person ever. Thank goodness my wife Melanie, she keeps me straight and narrow, because otherwise I am a big old. When you're creative, you tend to be a little bit messier. There's not really...
There's like a method to the madness.
Oh,
yeah.
it's madness, yes. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome. Mm-hmm. Usually we just meet and we're like, so what are we doing this week?
Yeah,
we kind of we need to get more like that.
I
It's
think
very
I like
artistic.
content.
Yeah.
Content board is good. I also think just thematically thinking about things that are on trend, that are important to you. I don't think you should make things that are disingenuous and not true to authentically. For you guys, it would be the Busch Gardens brand.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same with Walrus Carp. I'm not going to just make stuff to get views. That's not interesting to me. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not fun or entertaining.
Yeah. I hate when I watch videos and it's that's clearly fake.
Yeah.
You're not being yourself.
Oh, yeah. Dude, all right, ready? I have a pet peeve, and you can cut this if you want, but I have a pet peeve when people use templates on social media. It's the laziest thing ever.
Yeah.
They just take a a template from a video editor and they slap like their random B-roll on it and call that a piece of content. The first person that does it might be funny or relevant, but everyone afterwards, I'm just tired of it.
It gets
and I just scroll right through.
bit,
Yeah, it's just, I'm like, you're better than that. Just do something different.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything starts to kind of look the same when you're scrolling.
Sure.
I feel like you watch the same video 10 times. Okay, let's talk about Coaster Day.
Yes,
Coming
please.
up very, very soon. So tell us how you found your love for coasters and theme parks in general and what your plans are for Coaster Day. I'm sure you have something fabulous in the works.
Well, I think for Coaster Day, we might try to do those 24 coasters in 12 hours, which would be insane, but it's totally doable. You just have to map it out correctly. So my love of coasters came from when I was a little kid. My parents always took us to theme parks. That was our big trips. And all over the country went to theme parks as a kid. And Busch Gardens, funny enough, I had VHS tapes growing up that had those 3D glasses you would put on. And they weren't even 3D, they were terrible. But they were the front view. This is before people would watch streaming services to be able to see POVs of roller coasters. And Montu and Kumba were on there.
Nice.
And I swore as a kid, I was like, I can't wait to get the opportunity to be able to go to Tampa and be able to ride those. And finally, when I got there as a teenager, this was a very surreal moment. Because just Montu was the most incredible inverted looking coaster. And Kumba, the lift hill going through that massive loop, was so fascinating to me. I was like, oh man, that's what like I would build on those computer simulations of like owning theme parks and running theme parks.
Two of the most like iconic coasters here.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Okay. So you want to do the challenge where you do, what is it? What's the challenge?
24 roller coasters in 12 hours.
Wow. How do you map that out? How's that possible?
First of all, you have to find 24 roller coasters that are in close proximity
True.
to each
Okay.
other.
Okay.
That's step one. And then step two is mapping out timing-wise. Because again, a big part of what I do with content is to try to have people have a better experience. So you guys are the first drop. I talk about rope dropping. Rope dropping, if for those that aren't familiar, is when you get to a park, way before it opens, you wait for the team members to release you out into the park to be able to go on rides. So if you utilize your time effectively earlier on, you can get on way more attractions.
Okay.
So utilizing like timing and scheduling is the best way to kind of map that out.
Okay. Maybe we should try that one day and do that.
I mean, you have 9 coasters here already.
Right.
So you have 9 coasters here. You go to your sister companies, you probably tag on another 8, 7, 8, 9 in there. You're already almost there.
Okay.
You know?
Do you take breaks in between? I feel like I would
How
need
could you have breaks, dude? It's 12 hours.
12 hours, Shania.
Like, you don't have time to take breaks.
That's true.
No bathrooms, no food, no
Okay.
water.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah. One of my claim to fames last year is I rode an attraction nonstop, continuous for 14 hours and 24 minutes straight.
Wow.
No breaks, no getting off, nothing. And that was pretty intense. But again, when you love theme parks, it doesn't seem that weird.
What's the world record for?
You know what? The world record is someone in the UK on a roller coaster was on there for 3 or 4 days. And they continuously ran the coaster.
Is that allowed?
The guy like slept on the coaster. Yeah, it was the theme park allowed them and just ran the coaster all night. And it was a wooden coaster, which is insanity. Like
When was that? How long ago?
I don't know. I remember just looking it up because I was just curious. I was like, I wonder how long somebody's been on a roller. And I saw that, I was like, days.
Oh
days?
my gosh. That is really intense.
Yeah, it's insane.
Which coaster in the park here do you think that you've ridden the most? And what's your ride count for it?
So, that's a great question. I'd say probably Shikra because the wait times are always great throughout the day, and it's just fantastic and smooth. As you get older, I'm 39. I just like smooth, enjoyable. It doesn't have to necessarily be the most thrilling, but Shikra is just a great all-around coaster, and that's in the hundreds. I wouldn't be able to count that.
Okay. What do you think yours is?
Most ridden? Iron Gwazi, no
Really?
doubt. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I feel like mine's maybe Cheetah Hunt.
Cheetah Hunt?
Yeah, it's my favorite. I love that one. Okay, but I don't know my ride count for that.
Nope.
I don't keep
I stopped
count.
keeping track.
I need to start keeping count. You've
That's
done
like a
Gwazi
lot.
how many times?
62.
Is that your most ridden one?
No, I rode Falcon's Fury 150 times in 1 year.
Why?
Why would you do that?
Why would anyone? Oh, I love Falcon's Fury.
Like
It's
to
a
film
fun
it.
rapid.
Like I had to film.
Oh.
When it opened, I had to film.
Yeah.
Falcon's good.
It's a great attraction. It's really horrifying, but in the best way possible.
Iron Gwazi? Okay.
Tigress and Falcon's Fury are the two horrifying rides for me because it's so slow and you're hanging from your restraints. So that's uncomfortable. Once you can get over the fact that you're hanging from just mechanical devices and it's not just physics holding you in place, you enjoy the rides a lot more.
I got one.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude, you're so proud of this question.
He's like,
I'm not.
I need to
just
hear
got
it.
it.
No,
It's
dude,
not
the look
good.
you gave. No, I have
It's
to
not
hear it.
good. It's not good. It's
It
just
better
my
be
next
good.
one. I just
I
had
need
one.
to hear it.
All right. So we talked about rope drop, right, and tips on utilizing your time wisely. What are some tips you have for folks at Busch Gardens? What are some of your best, well-kept secrets? Of course, you can go check out Walrus Carp's videos and see these as well. But give us a sneak peek of some of your most...
Or like a must-do that's like a life hack. that
Okay,
people want to know.
let's go for rides first, and then let's go for experiential, right? Because I think it's two different categories, and you kind of have to bucket them, right? When you look at roller coasters, specifically here, Iron Gwazi and Cheetah Hunt have the longest lines, hands down, throughout the day. So if you're going to utilize or want to go on those attractions, do them first and decide which one's really important to you. Because people always ask me, well, what's the best ride? It doesn't really matter, my opinion. It matters what is important to you as a guest.
Yeah.
So tell me what level of thrill you want. Tell me what style of coasters have you already enjoyed. And then I can kind of steer and guide you a little bit more. But utilizing rope drop, get there early. And then also late. You can get into a queue line right before close. As long as there's no storms or anything, you're gold. You'll get on the attraction a lot faster. And plus, it's really cool to ride them in the morning and at night. Very different experiences once the coasters have warmed up, plus also just the look and feel of the attraction at night versus day. Sometimes it's a lot scarier.
Different.
Like Shikra at night it's a little much, like going up that lift hill. I love it, but it's
Iron
like,
Gwazi too, like at nighttime with the light.
it's intense.
Crazy. Yeah,
it's definitely
yeah.
intense. And then in terms of entertainment, people have to look at Busch Gardens not as just an amusement park. This is a thematic park all the way through and through. But there's world-class entertainment here. If you're not seeing the ice show, you are missing out. It's one of my favorite things to do with our family. Every time we're here, we have to go see Turn It Up Remix. So don't sleep on the entertainment. And then lastly, don't sleep on the animals here.
Yeah.
The animal experiences are outrageous and affordable. They're so entertaining and interesting. And they're with the whole entire family, you can get on it without breaking the bank. So I recommend anybody should do the giraffe tour. That is mind-changing, altering, just amazing experience. You get some unbelievable footage and pictures that you can share, but when do you get so up close and personal to giraffe and not just like hand them one piece of lettuce and then run away for a picture, which happens like almost everywhere else. This feels more immersive is probably the better way to phrase it.
That's a good way. Yeah. I always tell people, like my family or friends who want to come here, I'm like, you have to do an animal something. I'm like, if you're not going to do the safari, like please do something else, because it really adds to the whole entire day. It's like a whole, like you said, immersive experience.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for most people, even just walking around or taking the Serengeti train tour is a great way to see all the animals. You don't have to spend additional money. You can just walk around. And if you're earlier, you can get experiences like seeing the lions being fed, which I think is a really unique experience. And the proximity that you get to animals here versus other Florida theme parks is second to none. You're right there. You're like right next to animals.
Yeah.
So I think that view and look and scope makes Busch Gardens vastly different. You have to not view it as just a place to go ride coasters and thrill rides. It has them, but then it also has these stackable events for entertainment and animals that I think rounds out the park.
Yeah, that's true.
You're right about the early stuff, though. Shania, one of my I don't think we've ever talked about this, but one of my favorite days here was actually Shania and I's first day at the park.
Yeah.
And we walked around with Jesse and our boss Taylor at the time at like, I don't know, it was super early. But like just
8 o'clock
seeing
or
all the
something.
animals like out, like the park's quiet, which granted you wouldn't get that at
Very
Park
zen.
Open, but it's so like serene and cool to see the animals just like waking up, being fed, starting their day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the animals too. As long as you get there before 10 o'clock ish, you can still hit 1 or 2 roller coasters before 10 o'clock if you're getting here just before
Absolutely.
open. Then you get the experience of being able to enjoy seeing the animals active because it's so hot. Like nobody wants to walk around in the crazy Florida heat. So
Yes.
to me, you have to see them early while they're still moving around.
Yes.
Otherwise they're sleeping under the shade because it's too dang hot
always
to
hot.
walk around. Or
hot
if it's
for everybody.
raining. If it's raining, they love the rain. It cools them down. So that's a great experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. We have a lot of events that happen year round here. What is your favorite event to come to? Is it Hollow Scream? Is it Christmas? Is it Beer Fest? Hollow Scream? Okay.
You can stop
Yeah,
the list.
yeah.
there.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
hang on, twofold. I can answer this twofold. Food and wine here is the best food experience you can have in a Florida theme park because of the quantity, the amount of food. The plates are gigantic, and
Yeah.
the deal. If you buy a
It's
sampler
good.
lanyard, it's so affordable to
You
be
get
able
a
to
lot.
try everything here. And I always recommend if you're going to come here and do a food festival, which there are multiple ones, you guys have about 5 through the year, you have to go and buy a lanyard and then go try a bunch of food in the cabins.
Yeah.
So I like food and wine for the food, but I am a freak for spooky season. Like
Yeah.
it's August and
But
I
we're
am
ready.
full bore Halloween. You guys just had your Christmas in July, and I was so
Yes.
stoked to go through the residence
That
home for
was
the
fun.
holidays. It was fantastic. You also had a little bit of a vampire scare actor from the Forgotten, and I just was so excited. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think that event got us all excited for Hollow Scream too. Like we're in there and we're seeing everyone get scared. We're like, yeah, I'm ready for
Something
Hollow
about the
Scream.
smell of a haunted house that's just like
It's
triggering.
very specific.
It's so specific.
It is.
And it like put me into the Halloween sphere like immediately.
Well, you guys have uniquely fobbles. I never knew what a fobble was before. Do you guys know what a fobble is?
I don't.
What is a
Educate
fobble?
me.
Fog bubbles.
Oh,
You guys
yes.
have fog bubbles, and fog bubbles are the coolest thing ever.
Okay, yeah.
You just watch people walk around poking bubbles and seeing the smoke come out of them. It's fantastic. And there's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, there's something about the fog or that smoke smell that just makes me go,
That is, yeah, it's a very,
Yep.
yeah.
yeah, it's relaxing. I could do a whole entire thing on Hollow Scream. We're supposed to be talking about coasters. Don't get me on this like
No,
tangent.
but Hollow
I'll talk about it
Scream-
all day.
It's so close.
At this point, Hollow Scream is next month.
yeah.
Stop.
It's in a couple weeks, like if you put it literally.
I already
By
bought.
the time this episode comes out, it's probably like exactly a month or so.
I already bought my unlimited 2-park pass. I'm so stoked. I
Great.
will be here a lot.
Nice. So will we. We're here a lot too.
Shai, I saw you
Tambia.
in the haunted house, and I was like,
Yep.
"Hey, I liked your one piece of content," and then I was like, just rolling through.
Yeah. We see like a lot of the influencers who come and we're like experiencing the different houses.
Yeah.
And we saw a lot go through the Scary Mary too. It was really, really cool. I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
awesome.
that's probably my favorite of the year as well.
The Residents?
No, like Hollow
Scream
Scream
in
in
general,
general.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, but we have a new house this year too.
Oh,
Are you excited for that
Circus.
one? Yeah.
So I haven't been coming to Hollow Scream for years. We just moved down in September of 2021, so a lot of this is relatively new and exciting for me. So I don't have a lot to compare of previous years. I believe there was a circus or a clown-themed house that looked incredible when I saw some videos online. So very, very stoked to see. And I always love learning the backstories of houses too.
Yeah. And
That's
if you
always
go
my
story.
through like enough times too, you start like recognizing all the different like details
nuances,
and
yeah, the
stuff.
short
You know, like in the residence, there's like pictures of like our ambassadors, like in there, like the entertainment people.
Yeah.
Right? There's like, yeah. And you like the more times you go through, you start to see those little things. You pay attention, like all the
You could have never seen this, but in the kids' room, there is a section with kids' drawings, and it's like hanging out with Mr. Stan, and it's supposed to be Satan, but it's Mr. Stan, and
Oh my God.
there's 3 or 4 little vignetted scenes. It's like gardening with Mr. Stan. It's like a giant
Wow.
devil, but it's fantastic.
There were also people who went through the residence the other day who were counting all of the elves too, like all
Yeah,
the
there's a
little elf on
lot
the
of 'em.
shelves.
Mhm.
And I forgot how many they said there were, but they went through like 5 or 6 times, and they
Mm-hmm.
were like this many.
Yeah,
So I think that's
my
fun.
wife pointed them out when we were in like that Santa cave section, you know, with the snowflakes and bones.
Yeah.
And she's like, these are showing up everywhere. I'm like, yeah, I didn't notice that. We should go back through again.
Yeah.
So creepy.
I
Yeah.
love Hollow Scream. It's a
Yeah, me
really
too.
great time. I love it.
The other thing that I love that you guys do is Busch Gardens has the lights on tours. So that was a free experience that we just had on July 25th. However, moving forward, you can do a 2 or a 4 house tour, and then that gives you a front of line pass for one of the houses as well. It's pretty affordable, and if you love to just learn and see backstories and get a greater appreciation for the houses, I'd recommend everybody to take that tour.
Yeah.
If you're a big spooky season person.
It's definitely a good time to like you said, learn like the backstories, understand like the concepts and stuff. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And
I told you not to get me on the tangent of how it's
No.
going to do this. We're
We
supposed to
love
be
it.
coasters,
We are. We're
back
so
on
excited.
track.
we
Top 3
like
coasters.
once like even Christmas is around, like we're automatically into like what are we doing next year for Howl-O-Scream?
Yeah. Well,
So we do it all year round.
it's like clothing, right? I was designing Halloween clothing back in like April, May for launches in July. You know, it's always so weird, right? Like if you wanted a bathing suit right now, good luck. You're buying winter coats.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
Always,
you gotta always
like,
be in front.
3 or 4 months ahead of like the actual time.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure. Okay, so based off of all the coasters that we have here, kind of rank them from like your top.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, but also like the elements to them and stuff. Like we want to know all of your like what's in.
Sure, yeah. So my top 3 roller coasters in order. Number 3 would be SheiKra, the dive coaster. It's just tremendous. I love when it stops. It also has one of my favorite elements on it. I'll get to that in a second. Number 2 would have to be Cheetah Hunt. I love Cheetah Hunt, especially when the water feature came back. It just reminds me of Rhino Rally. Fantastic.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then number 1, Iron Gwazi. It's world class. There's nothing like
Yeah.
Iron Gwazi. It's
Yeah.
so smooth. It's incredible. That diving barrel roll is insane. But not my favorite element, though. My favorite element, and you guys have a lot here. This might be a test for you guys. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
Rut-row.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And do you guys know what an immelman is? An immelman is the term for like a dog fighting plane where it just kind of does like a 180. So it like goes forward, flips back, and then 180s out. So it's basically like a way to change direction. And if you need help, there's a big cheat right behind you.
Right.
Montu has a massive immelman right leading into that kind of temple section of thematics. But you have immelmans on a lot of your coasters. SheiKra has one. It's just one of my favorite elements. Yeah, it's just really cool. It's really smooth. It's really thrilling. And it doesn't pull like a massive amount of G-forces that in my old age I start like blacking out. I'm like,
Very cool.
Love that feeling.
yeah.
Awesome.
So SheiKra.
SheiKra, then Cheetah Hunt,
Cheetah
and
Hunt,
number 1 would
Iron
be Iron
Gwazi.
Gwazi. Yeah.
I would say those are probably like my ranking too.
Well, when we were talking
No?
earlier, we all kind of were talking about, maybe like our order was different, but we all were talking about the same kind of coasters.
Like I think Cheetah Hunt would be like my number 1. I love that one. Maybe SheiKra right after that. I love Montu though.
Montu is my
too.
number 1.
Yeah?
Montu,
Really?
No question about it.
Oh my gosh, why Montu?
I just love it. It's so nostalgic. I don't know.
It
it's
is
like
nostalgic.
it's like no.
It's
What
the
am I looking for? It's
inversions.
when you have like a presence.
Yeah, it's a landmark. It's an icon for this park, especially when you're coming in from the parking lot and you're taking the tram and you're looking at it, or you're leaving the parking lot. You have that inversion right as you're exiting.
Yeah.
I remember my mother-in-law when we were leaving, she was asking, "What coaster is that?" So I don't know. It's like a billboard for the
Yeah.
park when you're leaving to not forget the thrills. It's really
It's a
smart. Whoever
staple.
designed that.
Montu.
I thought that your favorite coaster was Air Grover, but
We did. We
I
rode-
guess that's I guess
that
I'm
video.
wrong.
That video hasn't been released yet, though.
Let's plug it here.
JP is upset that they took away the ride photo for that. He really desperately wants his ride photo
I
from Air
do.
You had a
Grover.
fun time on Air Grover.
Fun story about Air. So we worked Food and Wine, all the concerts, right? My coordinator and I, and it was so funny because the stage is right on the other side of Air Grover, and the screams that like all these artists would come through and be like, doing their soundtrack, whatever. Like, oh my god, that has to be the most like gnarly roller coaster in the world back there. Like with how loud people are screaming on it. No, just Air Grover. You got the like continuously.
It was just the kids on there.
Yeah.
It was I rode it for the first time the other day, and it was more fast than I thought it was going to be. Actually,
It's a fun attraction. I still like it. My kids are super stoked because they're of the age now where they can ride alone. Like they don't have to have
Cute.
mom and dad with them. So as a result, they feel like they're big kids,
Yeah.
Love it.
which is great.
Okay, so what is your favorite animal attraction to do? I know you said you love the safari, but like, what is your favorite animal interaction or experience?
Kangaroos.
Really?
Hands down. It's you got to get your mob time in. You got to come over and hang out and meet the mob. And all the keepers over there are so knowledgeable about all of the different names, and it's just really cool. Like I think Lewis is the name of one of them, and it's easy to see because he fell out of his pouch and he fractured his like left foot, so he has like a slightly smaller left foot. So you can just notice and see. Or maybe it's the right foot, but yeah, it's an easy way to see him. But they're so cute. Like They're unbelievable.
That is a fun one because you can get so close and feed them and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, and that's good for like any age. I think that's really cool. Oh, I think I loved the tortoise one that we did, but also the penguin one was very fun
Tortoise
too.
and penguins.
And the rhino tour too.
I don't get to do it every single time, but that giraffe one is one of those like once in a lifetime amazing
It is.
events. Like you have to do that. And if you're doing the by the time this airs, it'll probably be done. But the Passport to the Summer, you earned one of those animal
Yep.
ambassador opportunities, which you could use towards a giraffe experience.
Yeah.
Which all you have to do is just show up here more
It's
than a couple of times.
It's a very signature Busch Gardens-esque type of experience.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Okay, so then when you're not at Busch Gardens or you're not at theme parks and doing all the fabulous things that you do on your daily basis, what can you do like on your free time? What do you like to do? You have hobbies? Do you have pets?
We do have pets. We have 3 cats. But in terms of, we go to the beach.
Okay.
We go to zoos, theme parks, state parks. And yeah, I mean, honestly, we're a theme park family. So a lot of times
Yeah.
it's in theme parks. And then a bulk of my time is spent, packing orders, creating new designs, customer service, and then, of course, content creation. Content creation takes forever.
It does, yeah.
And I cannot wait until I get to a point where I can pass off editing to a team. That
It
would
is
be-
more than a full-time job, for
It is.
sure.
It's a lot. I enjoy taking content, and I enjoy trying to like come up with solid hooks and all that kind of creative.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of editing a YouTube video, it takes me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And sometimes even TikToks can take me more than an hour when you think about the actual procurement of the content, thinking about the shots, and then editing it down to something that nobody has an attention. So you need to be quick, to the point, and give lots of payoffs throughout the
Yeah.
video so people will enjoy it through the entire experience. And it's a short, 60 seconds or less.
Yeah, it's crazy how 1 minute of like video can take hours and hours to just film, edit, post, like everything.
I think, a good rule of thumb for somebody that's trying to get better at content creation is look at the time that you spend now on ideation. So thinking about ideas, and double it or triple it, and just spend the
True.
time. Even if you have to just sit there and write a bunch of ideas out, just spend double the time and just see what you come out of it and see if that somehow enhances the content in some form or another. But yeah, spending a little bit more time on your title, or spending a little bit more time on your hook, or spending a little bit more time on the payoff/close, or your call to action, whatever that is.
So that might be like one of your number 1 tips, but what is like one major thing that you'd want to tell someone who wants to become like a theme park influencer? Or
Don't do it. No.
No.
No. It's
Don't
not.
do it.
It's not don't do it. It's honestly, you have to go in with the fact that you're not going to be famous. You're not going to be wealthy from it. So if you're coming from a place of trying to get personal gain from it, you are in a long, long road. And this is just kind of like life advice. You should do something that you're really engaged in and you would do if you weren't getting paid for it, because in content creation, you will not get paid for it. So once you recognize that, and that you have to do it for 5, 10 years, and if you think in decades or in seasons of your life, it makes it much more palatable, and you worry less about, I need to get to 1,000 followers or 10,000 or 100,000. You remove yourself from the metrics and just think about what's important to the audience. What do I want to convey? What do I want to teach? What kind of value can I add? And I don't really even like the word value because it's hard to define what that is. But what will people leave with your video better than if they didn't watch it? So those kind of questions, and answer those questions in a way that is true to you. Like, don't be some caricature like, hey, what's happening? I'm in the theme park. Like that's not, you can only hold up that facade for so long. So just be authentically you. And if you make mistakes and you stumble on your words, it's okay. It's totally, nobody's going to, fault you for any of that stuff. So be authentically yourself, because it's so much easier to do that than to try to be some sort of persona. And I think it's probably harder now to be a personality when it comes to content versus somebody who's just being helpful.
Yeah, I get that.
But there's a lot of people doing it.
There is.
Unless you're doing something totally niche, like creating theme parks using AI, there's probably nobody doing that. So do that. There's probably a long run room for that.
The competition, for lack of a better term, is fierce in the content creation.
Yeah, there's
game.
a lot. But honestly, what makes you different than everyone else is you. So think about that when you're creating your content. You don't have to, you can learn from others and you can model from others' best practices.
True.
But try to come up with things and how you would convey them, not necessarily how your favorite creator would do it. You can use them as a rubric or a metrics, or even just an example, and then from there move forward with your spin or your take.
Yeah.
You know, just don't make something that's cookie cutter and exactly somebody's stuff, and you just put your voice on it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's great advice. You heard it here first, everyone, from Walrus Carp, Kirk himself.
Life advice.
That's great advice. Take some notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find you on social media so that after this they can follow you on everything that you have and keep up and watch your videos?
Yeah, just Walrus Carp on everything.
Okay.
So walruscarp.com, Walrus Carp
Got it.
on every single social media platform.
Perfect.
And you can always send me messages, kirk@walruscarp.com,
Awesome.
on email as well if you have other questions. I answer a lot of questions from people of just about theme parks in general, or sometimes content creation stuff as well.
Cool. And next time you're here, and if you see him, say hi.
Yeah, make sure to say hi.
Yeah. I'm always here and open to say hi to people and chat for a little bit. I usually ask people the number one thing, like, all right, so what did we do that we had fun on?
Nice.
You know?
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us for the first drop. We appreciate you coming out.
Thanks so much for inviting me. This was awesome.
Should we go ride a roller coaster now for roller coaster day?
It's going to be Montu, though.
Celebrate.
I think it's going to be Montu. Sorry. Sorry. Catch you guys later.
Fine. Okay, JP, I told you this was going to be a roller coaster ride of an episode, so
You were not lying. We were all over the place.
It
But
was a thrilling time.
I had fun.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to know what your guys' favorite coasters are here. What's your favorite coaster memory? We want to know everything that you guys love about coasters to help us celebrate National Coaster Day. So let us know in the comments below. We'd love to read them.
Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time.
Bye. Well, let's just talk about August. Let's talk about everything that's happening.
My answer.
Pumpkin flavor.
Ooh,
I'm
PSL. What does that
Yeah.
return? Lean back. Lean back.
Okay. Are we recording?
Everything's rolling, yes.
Oh, you've been rolling the whole time?
Jesus Christ.
Hi, everyone. I never say hi, everyone.
You never say that.
I say hey, everyone.
Okay.
Should we just start talking in an accent?
I
the whole
can't.
time?
You-
You know, I'm just really busy all the time, and I'm tired.
That's what you're going to say?
That was cheeky. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got it. Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
Here we go.
Okay. So we have a. Okay. There's there's also
That's the one. That's a blooper.
past member exclusive beer fest.
Speaking of roller coaster junkies, Shania, I think this is a perfect.
Cheers.
I love that Jesse's already packing up because he knows this is done.
He's like, I'm tuned out. He's checked out by now.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so flimmy all of a sudden.
That's definitely going to be
Great. Yeah.